Hi, this is Alicia Bowling with Creative Laughter TV Beyond Logic podcast. Today our guest is a psychic medium, business and career spiritual advisor, and at only 29 years old is fast becoming one of the top millennial psychics. It's my pleasure to welcome Raynard Newman Jr. to the show. Hi, Derek.
Hello, Alicia.
Hi, I'm so excited. I love when I have my millennial guests because, it's like a little flower blooming. And I'm always really blown away how crazy talented you guys are.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really cool. So first, I want to start off by asking you, how did you really grow up intuitive? Because I remember when we had a conversation, you were saying how it was like baking and baking and baking and just it exploded. So what do you mean by that? How did that happen?
So, growing up, I could always feel energy. All right. But I never knew exactly what to how to make of this energy that I was getting. OK, so I would just keep a lot of things to myself. OK.
Right. Yeah.
And as, I got older, I noticed where I became extremely sensitive to energy. Like I can walk into a supermarket now and I can feel when people are sad and when people are angry and, feel these emotions. And sometimes I tell people like the cashier, for example, I say, hey, it's going to be okay. And, they look at me like, who are you? And well, how do you know I'm sad?
Right.
And, I used to always just say, I just felt it in my spirit, but I would never tell them that I'm a psychic medium because I didn't want to freak anyone out. And at that time, I was still trying to accept my gift, So
is that because of where you grew up? It was kind of like it wasn't something that you talked about?
Right, exactly. Because, in the AfricanAmerican community, being psychic is really frowned upon, and a lot of people think that, oh, there's no African American psychic, or you don't have a gift, and they think that you're crazy and cuckoo. So I was always afraid of judgment. That's why, when I would go into these markets and I would just say, I would kind of make up hey, I would just felt, in my spirit, but really I was picking up their energy. So, even to this day, I have to fight extremely hard to prove myself that I'm genuine and that I'm real. And I think, the thing that I love the most about my career and my craft now is that I love when people say, oh my God, in shock, because they never really seen an African-American psychic.
I just brought this up the other day because I was interviewing an African-American woman and I said the same thing. Why are all these white famous psychics? Where are the, Black, Asian, Hispanic? It's weird to me. There really isn't a lot.
Right.
And she had said the exact same thing you said. So what was it like in school for you, being young and having this kind of energy and being around, kids that possibly weren't really open to this or hearing about this?
In high school, I definitely kept this a secret, okay? In high school, I definitely kept this a secret. So I really never told anyone. But when I got into college, I met this young lady. And actually, to this day, we're the best of friends. And she was very spiritual as well. So I kind of linked to her and she kind of made me feel comfortable. Listen, this is your calling. This is your purpose. You have to accept your gift and you have to work with what God has given you, So, she is really, she really brought that confidence out of me. And I think over the years, I have become extremely comfortable with what I do now.
So how did you develop your gift? Once you realized, especially being from a family that you had to prove yourself to, especially in the church community, where did you go and outreach to develop your gift or to, kind of hone it in, as they say?
It's crazy because I would never forget this. This was the first week of May 2012. And I was taking my friend home, the spiritual friend that I met in college. And I dropped her off home and we sat in her driveway for 5 minutes just talking. And I immediately started picking up, sensing this house across the street. And I was like, wait, somebody died in that house. I said, and my throat started shutting, closing. And, and she was like, are you picking up on that house? And I said, I am. I said, someone died of throat cancer. I said, it's an older woman. And I just started picking up. And she was like, okay, well, let me ask my grandmother about this house because, I just moved here and I, not too familiar with this area or the neighbors. And she called me that same night and she was like, you would not believe this. I said, what happened? She was like, the lady that you picked up died in the house and died of throat cancer. And after yes. And after that night, it just went like boom. It just really opened. Like I really became sensitive and open. Like when cookies and brownies, are finished baking, and I felt like my cake was done baking. And at that very moment, I was putting the icing on that cake. Like when I dropped my friend off and I started picking up on that house, that was me putting the icing on my gift. And after that night, I couldn't turn it off. I could not turn it off.
So how did you take classes? Did you meet another psychic? Did you Google somebody? How did you hone that in? Because I know a lot of the younger psychics who talk saying sometimes they don't necessarily know how to interpret or pull it in yet. So did you go to someone or did you just kind of develop it on your own?
I'm going to tell you a really funny story, actually. So that same month of May 2012, I went on meetup.com, and meetup.com is where, organizers, like they organize these groups of classes. And I just Googled psychic medium classes because I really wanted to learn about my gift. So I Googled this class, and this was in Orange County, California. And I want to say it was in Newport Beach, I think. And at the time I was living in Los Angeles. So I got on the freeway in crazy traffic and went down to Orange County. And I went to this class. And when I tell you, it was like 6 or 7 of us. I cannot remember. So I wanted to learn about about my gift. And, she was supposed to be in a instructor and she had a lot of experience with it. Okay. But I actually went, and once we got inside, she wanted us to do a test reading on people. Okay. So I did this test reading on this young lady who's my client to this day for many years. And I just picked up like crazy. And as I was in the moment, it's just like I was learning everything in that very moment. So I never had formal training. I never had training on how to tell what color that they're giving me or how to describe things. It came all from just learning as I went, learning as I talked to clients. And at that very moment, it's just it's really when I learned how to read. And, I learned from giving readings.
Wow, that's pretty amazing because I know that you were tested by Shay Parker and you're on their Best American Psychic list. And that's no easy task because I know a lot of psychics who have been on that and they go through a battery of tests to get on that. So, congrats to you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So tell everybody how you got in touch with them and how did they test you?
I was looking for a company that I can be part of because I just wanted to be, part of more companies to get my name out. So I was online Googling, different companies to work with. And my spirit just led me to this website, to Shay Parker's website. So I applied and, I received the email, I received the email stating for me to fill out more information and to do a test reading. And so I did the test readings. I had to do a test reading on someone that works within their organization. And then also I had to do test readings with volunteer clients. And then after I finished that, I had to do a very intensive interview. So I think that was the most scary part because the interview was really drilling me. It was really drilling me because, they promote, nothing but good people. And I feel like, I'm so proud to be part of a company that promotes ethics, So, with that being said, ever since I joined their directory, I just feel like my doors have just opened. And I'm so thankful to be part of a company. And, it feels more like family. Like since day one, they just welcome me in. And so I'm so proud and so grateful for this opportunity.
Oh, that's great. I know it's a very good company, and I know Shay does a lot of great things with her psychics. And so that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what exactly, you say you're a business and a career advisor. And I absolutely love the one thing that you said, well, Madonna has her hair people and, Gwyneth has her clothes people. So why wouldn't I, you know what I mean? So I thought that was very funny. So explain to everybody, what is a business and career counselor that you do? You're advising.
Right. So say, for instance, that you have someone that wanted to start up a business, okay? And let me give a prime example. Let's say, Alicia, you want to start up your real estate company, okay? And you needed somebody there to, spiritually guide you. Okay, say, Derek, is this a good idea? Or how you feel about this? Or what should I do about this? Or how can I spiritually, do this to benefit myself? So I am there guiding you in the background, saying, Alicia, this is a bad deal. Or Alicia, don't get this house. Or Alicia, don't do this. So I use my insight and my abilities to tell you when things would be a wrong decision, to help you save, time from making those errors, and also save you money because, being in business, when you make a bad deal, it could really cost you the business.
That's for damn sure.
Right. So there's a lot of business owners and small companies that use us to spiritually guide them. And I think that it's a great investment for anyone to have.
Yeah, I would think so. Cause you're right. You have your team of makeup people, you have your clothes people. So why wouldn't you have your psychic advisor? Makes total sense to me.
Exactly.
So let's say somebody comes to you and they're just lost. They don't really have any kind of career in mind, and they're doing a mundane job just because they didn't do well in high school. So that's just what they ended up having to do. So how would you guide somebody like that?
The way I would do is I would look at from start to finish, like what happened, what transpired, how did they handle those situations? And I put those puzzles together. I put those pieces of the puzzle together to formulate, okay, what can we do now to fix this? So I use my abilities to look in the past, look in the present, and then I look at, okay, now I'm looking at the future. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way, and a lot of people have benefited from that. I have a lot of people that has called me even to this day and say, Derek, thank you so much, because now I feel like I'm going somewhere in life. And I think those phone calls really make me go harder and harder.
So what about the crazy, lazy people who are looking, for the easy way out and for the answers? How do you work with somebody like that?
I'm very blunt, and I think people can appreciate my bluntness because I'm not a compassionate reader. I'm a very straightforward, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, and I have a lot of people that go against my judgment, but then later call me back and say, Derek, you were right. So after time, I used to be compassionate, but I noticed that a lot of people, like the lazy ones, took advantage of it, and they just wanted answers, but without putting in the work. So I became very blunt, very straightforward. And then I got some of them that I would say, you know what, I'm not answering that, or I will refuse their call because, I'm not going to sit here and give you all the answers while you do not work. So I think, me being hard on them has really, really, really changed their lives. And you also, when I have those lazy ones, like I know the insight. So then I try to give it to them like, okay, why did you do this? Or how did you think that would work out? So I use that insight to, and then they answer their own questions. And then they're like, oh, wow, you're right. So, and it just makes them think deeper, I think. Like by me doing that, it made them think deeper.
Right. So have you ever because I know psychics work off energy. Have you ever energetically just talked to somebody and said, I can't read them. I have no intentions. I don't want to read them. Has that ever happened for you?
Oh my God, it's draining. You know, it has happened. It has happened. Yes, it's very draining. It has happened. But I was at a point in my career where I wanted to please everybody. And I thought that maybe if I say, oh, you know what, I cannot read you today, they might go online and say, oh, let me leave a bad comment. And I was so scared of that. But now I'm like, okay, like, you know, I'm not scared because, you know, if I genuinely cannot read you, I'm going to tell you up front and say, hey, versus me fighting through it, because normally I would fight through it. There are some people that have a lot of thick energy, and imagine you have a hammer and you're trying to nail that, you're trying to hammer that nail into that wall and it's not going, but then you're fighting, and it's draining. And, you know, I would just fight through it. But now I say, hey, you know, it's not a good time to read you. You know, so I'm definitely, you know, able to do that now. But, you know, before I would just fight through it. And then after I hang up the phone call, I have to take me a 2-hour nap. I just had to.
You know, that's funny you bring that up because, you know, a lot of the seasoned psychics who are in their 50s and 60s have, you know, spent years trying to figure out how to ground themselves and not feel tired. And you're still a young man. You know, how are you able to, you know, cope with this and ground yourself in a way where you get the rest you need, or you don't let all these outside energies suck you up?
You know what is so funny? Because I'm going to tell you what I do. After I have that moment, I put on my headphones and I play the latest music and I dance around my house. And I feel that grounds me. I'm serious. That grounds me. And after I spend about 15 minutes dancing around the house, I mean, just doing stuff around the house, dancing, moving, in about 15 minutes, I'm better. I cannot tell you the last time that I turned my TV on. I think it's been since last month since I last turned my TV on. The TV just sitting on my stand right now, but I love music. I listen to music all day. And I think, and that is what's grounding me, because when I have those moments when I'm just like so drained and just want to give up, sometimes I plug my headphones in, I dance around the house, and then like 15 minutes later, I'm at 100% again.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, one of the other things we talked about, and, you know, talk about learning lessons. We talked about, you know, being a young African-American man, gay, psychic. It's like, you know, you got slammed with all three very difficult tests in this world. How do you cope with all that and all the stigma and stuff that comes with that? You
know what? I'm at a point now in my career and my life and in my journey where I am trying to change that negative stigma by telling people do not talk. You ask me I'm a direct questions reader. I mean, I can do a general reading, but I don't like it. I just feel like it just takes up too much time. And I prefer someone to say, Derek, I have 5 questions. I want to learn about this so we can drill in and, you know, and we can get straight to the point. But how I'm trying to erase that negative stigma and deal with what, you know, all the obstacles that are against me right now is by telling people, do not talk. I talk. Ask me the question. And because I don't want anyone to say, oh, he's cold reading, or he's doing this, or he's doing that, he's doing that. You know, I want to be respected. Because I have so many odds against me, I have to do things differently this time.
Well, do you feel because of, you know, being an African-American man or being gay or anything, that people do look at you differently and you do have to prove yourself in a different way?
Exactly. Especially being a gay person, because when a lot of people view gay males as very playful, so they don't take these people serious. Not all of them, but some of them. But you know what? Yes, some of them view us as being very playful, so they don't take us serious. So I have to really, once I get into work mode, I'm all about work. But I do have my moments, like I like to go out, I like to have fun. Not necessarily meaning I'm going to clubs every night, but I like to go to a nice lounge or a bar and relax and, listen to music and have fun. But people, when they first used to meet me, they thought that, oh, he's just a club type and, you know, he's a model and he just so handsome. There's no way that he can be psychic and he's gay. So he's sleeping with everybody and he's playful and he's this and, you know, and I had so many odds against me. But you know what? The thing that I enjoy the most is proving people wrong.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. And so that's why I tell people, do not talk, I talk, because I don't want people to say, oh, he's cold reading, or he's doing this, or he's gay, so people feel sorry for him. No, I don't want that. No.
It's very funny when I always laugh at this when people say, oh, well, they could have Googled you and they could have done this. But you know what? There are certain things that you can't Google, you can't find out. You don't know that I had a diet soda the other day and French fries. I mean, you know what I mean? It just like, I always kind of laugh at people who put that into a little square box.
Exactly. And that's why with what I'm choosing to do and what I'm trying to do is that I give specific details. I mean, specific details, not generic, not general. I go into what's the color of your underwear. I go into a lot of details and I tell people all the time, like I have some callers that call me on my psychic lines and tell me, well, how do I know that you're real? Because I spoke to like 1,000 advisors last year. I say,
wow.
I have those calls and I say, hold on one second. And I say, ma'am, my spirit guides are telling me that you have on the color purple or you are near the color purple, like you're very near it. And they be like, oh my God, I have a purple shirt on or I have purple pants or I'm near purple roses, like very near it, So, and after that, that's when they feel so confident in what I'm saying.
Well, when you and I were talking and I was kind of getting a feel for how you read, the one thing I was amazed about, I mean, you're crazy talented. Like, give me a name, Alicia, gave you a name and you tell me all this shit about them. I was like, oh my God, like intricate things about their personality and how I deal with them. That's a very special gift. I don't know a lot of people who just turn that on and off like that. I mean, I was just shooting names at you and like, hold on, Chris, da. Oh, Benjamin, da. I was like, damn. Yeah, that was very interesting because, tuning in and out of energy like that with people.
Right. And I can do
crazy.
And it's like I can switch like how rappers, how they say, like Nicki Minaj is my favorite all-time artist, rapper. I love the way.
Really?
Yes, I love everything Nicki Minaj. Like, I love her. I love the way she switched her flows on some, songs. And I picture myself, the way I'm able to connect to different people, like the way, okay, so for instance, like let's say that you ask me about A, B, C, D, E, and I can switch so fast. Like, that's the way I put myself.
I know, it's crazy.
So I put myself as like how Nicki Minaj switched her flow so easily. And with trying to erase that negative stigma, I go into, details all the time. Like I had my cousin call me the other day and we were talking. Now, mind you, normally I cannot read my family. I cannot read anyone that's close to me, like my best friend, my mother, my brother, my sister. I don't know. I'm just completely shut off from them. Like I can see around them. But I cannot personally read them. Okay. Now, my cousin who I really don't speak to. Now it has to be a family member that I don't speak to every day. If I speak to you every day and you're close to me, I cannot read you, but I can see around you. But my cousin who I speak to, let's say about once every 3 weeks, she called me the other day and I was like, hey, because my pelvic started hurting like really bad while I was speaking to her. I said, hey, what's with your pelvic? I said, I'm having a lot of pelvic pain. She said, oh my God. She said, I was just making an appointment for the doctor for that. She said, I don't know what's going on. And I was just saying to myself that I'm having a lot of pelvic pain. So I go into specific details like that because that's how I'm going to be able to win people's heart.
Oh, that's really interesting. So answer me this. On your website, you have that interview of Oprah at the award show. What is it about that interview that made you post it on your website?
I love how she was very encouraging. I love, because I'm all pro women. Like I love how, me being around women, I have grown to see how hard they work. And so the way how Oprah has, she's very encouraging in all her words, I feel like, that's, something that I would do and something that I would say. So I feel like I'm very motivational. So I want to give people hope as well. So I connected so well to what Oprah said. And I just felt like, oh my God, I have to put this on my website.
I know. It was a great speech. It really was. Mm-hmm. She does have this way of commanding with her voice and uplifting people and making them feel like they can do anything, which is a great thing, It's like that one little soul that walks into the room and they light up the room without even talking, just by their energy.
Right.
That's what she reminds me of. Well, one of the things you do, which I just, oh my God, I love you for it. I think it's so adorable. But one of the things you're really working towards is your mission to help people who have dealt with bad psychics in the past. Now, one of my whole reasons I started Beyond Logic is because I absolutely love the spiritual world. And, a lot of people get bad raps from the few people who are doing the shitty thing and taking people's money. And I'm very aware there are a lot like that. So it's very commendable that you're going in to help these people change their mind and give them a new outlook on it. So why don't you tell everybody about your little goal there?
Yes, my goal is I want to put myself out there as that person. I see these psychic shows online, and it's mostly reading celebrities. I don't want to read celebrities. I want to go house to house to people's home who have dealt with bad psychics, because I want to bring back that positive energy to our field. Because when you hear a psychic medium, they always say, oh, is he real? Or is he fake? Or is he going to take my money? Or, he's cold reading, or is a bunch of BS. There are so many people out there, yes, that really needs the closer. They really need it. And, that's why my mission is to reach as many people possible so I can bring them back hope that, he is very genuine. Or, let me put some more belief back into this business, because it's hard work. I'm not even going to lie. It's hard work. And I think my obstacle right now is trying to change everyone's mind on this industry. And that's my goal. And I know for a fact I'm going to be very well known. I feel it. And I feel like I'm going to change so many people's heart. And that is my mission.
Well, I love your mission as much as I love you, Derek. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. And you're going to do great things. There's no doubt in my mind. And if you would like to book a reading with Derek or learn more about him, go to his website, www.dereknewmanjr.com. And also remember to go to our website and check out our Psychics of our Month and our group sessions. And remember, you create your life, you create your future. This is Alicia Bowling with Beyond Logic.